Yo, the reason why I even hit you up, and welcome to the Daddy Dialogue podcast. This is where we inform, educate fathers from all backgrounds, especially Latino and Black American fathers, because I feel like this could be a platform to educate fathers. This became, so Konata, a couple of years ago, like 2 years ago when I was in Houston, I really had a passion for like, okay, there's nothing for Latino dads anywhere. And to be honest, when I was a kid, some of the really, I would just get whooped, and there would be no conversations. And be, I'm sure you being from Caribbean background, you can relate in a lot of ways.
Oh yeah,
so there was no combo. There was no like, hey, let me tell you what happened. No, they would just beat you, and you would just realize whatever happened. Maybe you realized what the lesson was. Maybe you did. So 2 years ago, man, I just got together and I said, I'm gonna do a couple of podcasts. And I literally, the vision behind this podcast was only to do recordings for my son, who was at the time was maybe 3 or 4. And I was like, God, if I'm not here in 5 years, then he can listen to these lessons and learn, and then maybe show his kid. And that was literally the vision, nothing else. I said, God, if I don't have anything, if I don't write a journal for my kid, or I don't do anything, but there's a bunch of these recordings he can listen to when he's 15, 16, 17, 18 years old, and he can share it to his kid. So the podcast started like that, and then it became this thing where I had moms hitting me up, and they wanted me to bash baby daddies, and I was like, dude, that's not really why I'm doing this. That's not really the vision. Like, it's really about educating dads. Yeah. So we've had some great times, and I think the main reason is just to educate fathers, and of course I'm faith-based. I'm Christian. You are too, and we know that some of the people that are going through fatherhood, it's not easy. It's not. I've been a dad maybe 6 years. You have 2. And
2, right. So 10 and 6. So 10.
Yeah, 10 and 6. And for those that don't know, Konata has been a friend of mine for many, many years. Him and his wife for many, many years. And what don't they do? I mean, they do a little bit of everything. Music, they do some video. They get it done. And they're youth pastors too. Like, they do a lot of different things. I watched them for a really long time. But I've been more drawn these last couple of years as I've been getting older, watching like some of my friends and seeing how they deal with their kids. And I'm very enamored. And I'm like, yo, the way that Amanda sort of rocks with the children's. And I see how Konata sort of maneuvers, although I'm not there physically every day. Right. Yo, this would be a great convo, I thought, and there'd be some good information that I think you could give. I'm not saying you're the expert, but I'm saying you're another father, and you learn some things from your people.
Definitely not an expert, but
now show to yours. Some of it may be good, some of it may be bad. I'm trying to be better because I can't take everything my dad did when I was a child, because it'd be horrible. It'd be abuse, and they would call Chores and on the deal. That would get down like that. So today's episode is strictly on chores, and it's something that I'm dealing with. Chores, and it's when I was a kid, the way I was brought into chores was a little weird. And I'll be honest with you, Konata, right now, my son just turned 7, and we're getting into this routine where now I've been slowly getting him into the routine of what chores look like.
Yeah.
But I'm like, yo, I need insight from another father who maybe now is already, because it looks like you're at you might be at a higher level already, because you have a boy and a girl.
Yeah.
And I'm guessing you have more chores to dialogue, direct out.
Yeah.
But first of all, man, you growing up as a kid, when were you introduced to chores? Did you do chores when you were a kid? Did you not do chores? Was your mom beating you? What exactly was that looking like when you were a young child?
Yeah, so, when I was growing up, it was me, my mom, and my sister. My dad wasn't really around like that. He's in another borough. But the chores thing, I think I got introduced to chores, started out when I was like maybe 5 or 6 years old. So chores has always been part of it, but it was simple stuff because we lived in an apartment, it wasn't a house. Growing up in Brooklyn is different. So, taking the garbage out to the incinerator and, having roaches fall on your head.
This is like, wait, so this is New York City, right?
This is New York. This is in Brooklyn.
So you had to walk from your door out to I remember New York.
Yeah.
You walk to that place, everybody would go to drop their.
You drop it, but it's nasty, that little walk is crazy, And, where I grew up, it was tough, man. It's crackheads in the roof, so you had to be quick and paranoid at the same time, get it done, get back in the house. But one of my chores that I hated, I was telling my son this the other day because he freaks out over like water bugs. You know, those little palmetto bugs. You can't avoid them here in Florida. And I'm
Yeah.
like, come on, man, that's nothing, man. I eat that for breakfast. You know, when I was a kid, like, you know, it was nothing because my mom used to have me. We used to have, you know, and listen, we had rats, you know, and I'm not talking about mice. We had rats. So
Some New York rats, son. They
New
look
York
like.
rats, yo, they salute, yo, when they walk up. But I remember one time we walked in the house, the first time I had to do this chore, and there was a rat in the sink. And in New York, when you turn the water on hot, it's scalding hot. You could burn your skin off. So my mom went and turned the water on to catch the rat off guard, and it was just jumping.
Oh my
And
God.
it finally died. And then she was like, Konata, you know, because she's Jamaican. And she said, yo, come, I need you to go ahead and take this out to the incinerator. So I had to pick up this rat, you know, take it all the way out, throw it, and then that was my job, one of my jobs amongst many, you know, when I was in Brooklyn, clearing out the rats from the rat traps and so on and so forth, which was crazy. I was an exterminator, yo.
No, and many times, tell me if I'm wrong, but many times, if the rat trap caught like a really small rat, son, it would be moving on that jump on the,
Oh yeah, I mean,
you know what I mean? It'd be like it trying to live still, and you were like,
yeah,
yeah, yeah, throw it in the
yeah.
trap, gun.
Yeah, man. So you had to slap it a little something, or you know, throw the trap and everything against the wall, so that thing was knocked out. Because those things are strong; they survive anything.
Yo,
Um,
so seriously, you being, I mean, wow, man, you start like that kind of upbringing, doing chores, you had it hard. Like I thought you were gonna be some soft story. That
I
thing is
mean,
like,
at the time, I guess it's hard now to think about it, but when I was doing it, it was just normal, you know, walking the house. Some days there would be one caught, other days there wouldn't. Some weeks at a time it'd be nothing, and one week is like three in a row. You know what I'm saying? And then when we moved here to Florida, my mom, you know, we had a little backyard situation moving on up. You know what I'm saying? My mom got me one of them leaf blowers, you know, just to blow the leaves out of the backyard. So it looked easy when you see people doing them. But when you get that leaf blower and leaves just blowing everywhere, not going where you want them to go, that would transition when I moved to Florida. The chores got a little bit different, washing cars and cleaning windows and all that kind of stuff. So I have two
so that,
different
but that
stories.
elevated as you got older, I'm guessing, right?
Yeah, that's more like teenage years when I came here to go to high school. You know, that's when the chores changed up. But you know, in New York, it was vacuuming, dishwashing, that kind of stuff, and cleaning up rats.
What would you say you learned as a, and I'm not saying a specific chore you did,
Mm-hmm.
but being going through that you may have used some of it to now instill into your son and your daughter. Because
Mm-hmm.
like I heard you say, yeah, they tripping about a water bug,
Yeah.
and I mean, if they had to walk what I had to walk, they would drop a thing in a dumpster down on the whatever floor.
Right.
What have you? I mean, because I mean, at the end of the day, that really builds tough character, tough skin,
Mm-hmm.
and there's
Mm-hmm.
some other parts people sort of miss, which is like you're a kid, so you have to walk to a certain distance. You don't know if you're gonna see
Yeah.
a crackhead, a prostitute, whoever in
Right.
the hallway before you get there. So
Mm-hmm.
there was that issue, and you're thinking about those things because it's the
Yeah.
reality of what you're dealing with. What would you
Mm-hmm.
say you've instilled, or what you've gotten out of now that you maybe instilled to your child when it comes to doing chores?
You know, I think it was like a unity thing because Saturday mornings, much like my wife, before we can go outside, but you know, for video games and all that stuff, you had to make sure everything was clean in the house. So what it instilled is like this unity of getting things done. The house wasn't just my mom's, even though she paid all the bills. It was mine. It was my sister's. So we shared the responsibility of it being clean. We felt ownership of it when people walked into our house. You know, if it would look crazy, we all felt like, yo, somebody dropped the ball. Like, why is that out? You know, because my mom was Jamaican, so she's immaculate with everything. So I think that was one of the things. You know, if you're gonna do something, do it right. You know, because we would try to cut corners. That's what kids do. You know, you try to do half the work, you vacuum,
Yeah,
you know, half the
put the
floor.
sheets up, throw it under there,
Right?
bomb.
Exactly. But that stuff didn't work, and it always ended up, you know, if you did something, you know, half cocked, it ended up taking twice the time. So do it right the first time, just bust it out, work hard, you know, put some elbow grease into that bathroom, whatever, to get it done. And so that's instilled in me a sense of hard work. So now whenever I do something, I have to complete it. Like I cannot leave stuff incomplete. And that's one of my, I guess, blessings, but it can also be a curse if I start on something at the wrong time. I'll be up all night. Any sacrifice to get it done.
Do you think you're as lethal or as strict as your mom was with your kids as she was with you? Not close,
Nah,
not even close.
man. Nah, I mean, I think I'm close. My mom was, it's weird because she was strict, but I don't know, the way my upbringing was, we was just so close as a family. We was always scared and stuff. So it started off as a chore. It became like just my responsibility. It's something it was just part of me. It wasn't even a thing to like think about. Oh, dude, okay, I'll go do it, mom, just to ease her stress and so on and so forth. My kids, to tell them to do something, sometimes they look at me and like, why don't you do it? You're right there. And I'm like, ooh, what? 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 I'm ready to lose my mind. Who are you talking to?
I thought I was the only one because I'll be honest, like I feel like kids now watch these shows on YouTube and they see these kids always reply back to their parents. And so it's like it translates into real life and I have to bring them back to reality. Like my son, I have to tell him, son, this is not whatever that kid's name, because he always has something to say to his mama. Back in the day, like we gotta look, and it was all we already knew what time it was.
Right.
But now kids have these like little side comments. I just don't understand. Where that goes. Another thing I thought was really big, and and I didn't mean to cut you off, but I think it's really pivotal. Is when do you think, or how did you go about? And I'm sure you and Amanda, your wife, sort of have a setup, or it's sort of organically happen. But how did you transition into slowly giving your kids, your son and your daughter, like chores? Did it start at 5? Did it start at 6? I know some people are gonna be like, I don't know exactly the day, but I know we slowly transitioned. I asked that question because right now we've begun where I have him picking up stuff, doing his bed, stuff like that. My son is doing those things. But now we're like, we're talking big time. Now it's like, all right, homeboy, you're gonna start washing knives and forks and whatnot. You know what I mean? You put them down and scrub. Like, but I say this, man, because when I was a kid, we didn't get no combo like that. It was all right, bro. You got dishes, go. Like it was just we were struggling. You didn't have time for a class or a combo. Like,
right.
That wasn't happening. So I feel like now it's important if we can have it and teaching them why and the responsibility behind it. Responsibility is big. How did you sort of, and you and your wife, because I know it's a team effort. How did you guys transition with doing your son and your wife? I mean, your son and your daughter. How did you slowly get them into doing chores?
Yeah, it's crazy. When we used to live in a townhouse and then we moved to the house that we're in now, and the house is fairly bigger, so it just requires more. So once my daughter hit the age of 10, I think 9 actually, we just introduced her to dishes, and it's funny because I always tell her, me washing dishes when I was your age and you washing dishes is 2 different things. All you got to do is rinse it out and throw it in the washing machine and pop the thing up and press the start button. I had to get these hands wrinkled up.
Get that grime, so get that little
skin
Brillo.
was falling off. Yeah, the Brillo pad. The other day my daughter asked me, "What is that?" I said, "That's a Brillo pad." She's like, "What do you do with that?" I said, "You don't worry about it right now. You'll know soon enough." So yeah, when we had that transition, we just told them, "Hey, we need to give you guys some chores. We need to start giving you some responsibility around the house, and just know that as you get older, there'll be more to do." So we started her there. We have my son. His is simple. He takes the garbage out. He grabs it once it's empty. He's only 6, but he's big. And then he also fills up the refrigerator whenever the water bottles are low. He makes sure we all stacked up. And it translates because they like Crystal Light and that kind of stuff, where you pour the powder in the water and shake it up. And he knows and she knows that if they don't do that, then they're going to have water to drink with their food. So they want an ice cold glass of lemonade or Crystal Light fruit punch or whatever. That water needs to be stacked up. So that's like something that helps both of them kind of be accountable, even though, they leave that thing empty all the time. And I'm like, hey, lukewarm water, let's do it. Better for you anyways. You know what I'm saying? So it's good because those particular chores, especially my daughter, she likes to cook. She likes to, I mean, she can cook anything pretty much. She's only 10 years old, but she knows we won't let her cook all those things if the sink is piled up with dishes. So there's that balance of the things that they want. We know we tie it to the chore, at least now. We'll see where we go from here.
And that sounds like that's the good part, the nice part, the responsibility part. Have you
Mm-hmm.
dealt with issues of them not wanting to do it? I mean, I don't know if that's exactly. So how do you navigate that when your kid doesn't, or he gives you that side eye? I mean, my old school
Mm-hmm.
in my brain, what happens when I hear even that conversation is get the chancleta and
Yes, bye.
go to town. You feel me? And then have a combo as you're whipping them.
Yeah.
Yeah, that type of situation. But how have you navigated it, man? Because I see it's funny. I talk to you, but I know your wife is a whole nother stilo, and
Yep.
it can even probably be even more aggressive. So
Yeah.
I want to
She
know
gonna
how
play.
you sort of dealt with it when maybe your kid doesn't want to do them, or he doesn't feel like it, or like today's another day. I don't feel. What exactly? How do you
Yeah.
navigate those things?
I mean, I try, to not turn into the things my mom did because my mom, as soon as you fix your face to look a certain type of way when she's paying bills and working two jobs and all this stuff, as soon as you fix the way something was being thrown at you, was wooden spoon, a hanger, something. So I
Oh,
don't do that to the kids, but um, when they're giving me some sort of attitude, I gotta check them, and let them know, hey, so you're doing these dishes, right? What do you think I do? Oh, Dad, you just walk, you just blah. I said, who do you think put this light up? Who do you think put this fixture up? Who do you think puts this, make sure this AC is running the way that it should? Who do you and I give them a whole list of things. And sometimes the guilt trip way does work. Sometimes it don't. They don't care. They'll be looking at you like, ain't you supposed to do that, Dad? What's up? What's up? Um, but yeah, man, that's definitely, if I'm being honest, it's something that God has been really working with me on because, my patience can be really thin when I feel like the respect is being played with, and sometimes that's what I feel like. I'm all I'm asking you to do. You watch TV, TikTok, YouTube all day. 10 minutes it takes you to do the dishes. 5 minutes it takes you to load up that water. It's not a lot of time, so there's no excuses. I play my song, no excuses. You got no excuses, little boy, little girl. And they get it done.
listen, how does the dynamic, and this is going to lead me to another question, and we're almost done here, but
Mm,
so now the new school year it's happening, at least for us in Florida, and
uh-huh.
it's changed the dynamic of what a household is for a lot of people. Not everybody, because some people were doing homeschooling before, and some people were like,
Yeah.
teaching their kids at the crib or whatnot,
Hmm.
stay-at-home moms or whatever. But for you, it looks this is new, right? This is new territory, having both of your kids at home. For me, it is
Absolutely.
too.
Hmm.
So I'm gonna sort of dump both things. It's like next week we jump at the new school year, and I'm all right, Papa. You want this ice cream? You want this stuff? And these situations need to happen
Yeah.
if you want to play Roblox or you want to go Fortnite or
Absolutely.
whatnot. So
Roblox.
how have you are you have you dealt with that so far? Is there a schedule for them? How are you navigating this new way of doing school at home virtual for your kids? For those that may be listening out there, and then adding the chores, or are you still navigating that as we speak?
No, I mean the chores still need to get done, again,
You
because
sound like your mom.
yeah, responsibility, it's gonna translate in everything. Homework, assignments, you got a job to do it. So as soon as they're done with school, I have them, we got two dogs here. We got these dogs for them. Why we got two? I don't know why we did that to ourselves. But we got two thinking it was gonna be cute. One of them has boy, one of all this stuff. But it turned into work, that we have been having to do. So we had to take, a step back and say, you know what, these kids need to walk these dogs. So right after, they get out of school, because we started already here in Broward as of Wednesday. Um, and take the dogs for a walk around the block, come back, make sure you change your clothes, wash the dishes, make sure that the thing is loaded. Let's go. But yeah, I can't take too much credit because Amanda's been doing most of the time with them and the virtual schooling because I'm working from home, which is new in this season as well. I was used to going to work, yeah, at least my 9 to 5 job, but now I'm doing everything from home. We're all in each other's faces.
24/7.
Yeah, yo, and it's been fun. I know a lot of people. I hear a lot of crazy stories. Like, man, I hear my wife blinking, man. Like, what's up, man? People are getting crazy, but we've enjoyed being home together for the most part.
Yo, okay. So I like how I've been watching. So I've been watching your wife's Instagram. I saw
Hmm.
she like set up a space for them. Looks pretty dope. She painted a wall, like a whole
Yeah.
ordeal. Follow
Hmm.
IG.
Hmm.
I mean, she's on a whole nother level. Looks like we did something sort of like that here. We set up
Hmm.
my son in his room,
Hmm.
cleaned up a bunch of stuff, cleared everything out, so it's a nice working environment for him. My wife takes all the credit, and my mom. I ain't do nothing. They did all that, and to be honest with you, it's been a big ordeal, and I'm like, okay, how are we gonna navigate this? I did see something, and I wanted to ask you because well, your wife is not here. If she was here, I would have asked her, but I'm gonna ask you because
Hmm.
you might know the
Mm.
answer to it. And this will lead me to like your music and some of the because there's kids that have their parents listen to this, and you can hear Kanata's music on some of the kids your kids might be playing. I'll just give you
Okay.
that. I'll give you that in a second. But first, so I noticed, man, when she's and this is like off the left side. So I
Hmm.
noticed when she's doing in school virtual schooling at home, they
Hmm.
have a break to play Roblox. Like I
Hmm.
saw that, son, and I was
Yeah.
blown away because it is. I just keep it funky with you as a dad. Like it is a struggle, son. My son, you give him the phone, son. Roblox is on every phone up here, son. We have to like close. It gets crazy, and my son,
Yeah.
you talk to him, and it's like, oh, he doesn't hear, doesn't see. Like it's hilarious. So I saw that, and I
Hmm.
was inspired. I was like, yo, how the heck they got them? I thought about it for man, maybe they're more driven to work harder because they know they have a break to play Roblox.
Hmm.
So I
Hmm.
wanted to hear your thought process on that, and it's out of left field. It has nothing to do with chores, but in a way,
Hmm.
I was like, I might steal that idea. I was like,
Yeah,
yo, it's pretty dope. So bring me through what that thought process is like for you guys when you let them play like Roblox in between breaks in school.
Yeah, I mean, it's like anything, right? If you incentivize, people just in general, they're more liable to do whatever it is you're asking them to do. And the same thing works with children. Roblox is something we got introduced to like 3 weeks ago. We even never heard of it. And then my daughter got on it, and it's a wrap. That thing got her going crazy. Like I don't even know what they're doing there. But to some degree, that sounds terrible. But yeah, man, like we understand that they don't have recess, right? They don't have the time to play with the kids on the breaks and the things that they would normally have. So in this season, we're going through this quarantine as a world, as a nation. We all got to adapt, and that's just one of the ways to adapt, to allow them to have something to look forward to. They can decompress, from work and studying or whatever. And it's only been 2 days, but you let them decompress and you let them know, hey, you can play Roblox after you eat your food or while you're eating, but as soon as 5 minutes to a class, I'm snatching that phone out your hand. So make sure you're wrapping it up with your buys and all your virtual boyfriend and girlfriend stupidness. You know, we're gonna wrap that thing up. And for the most part, it's been good. My son is a different type of uh, kid. Like he's not on Roblox as much yet. He's fighting. He's very much a boy, plays with toys. So as long as he's able to play with whatever he's doing, you know, for the time being or whatever the time period that he has, he look forward to it. And then when we're done, he runs back. It takes a little bit more to bring him back. All right, school time again, bruh. Let's.
You gotta like
um,
navigate him back slowly into
yeah, yeah. But
transitioning.
you make that stuff, something for them to look forward to, just like they would normal if they had cafeteria with all their friends and they'd be able to do that stuff. It might be Roblox is one of the only places they can actually meet their friends, in today's situation. So.
Man, that is amazing, and I love that. I told your wife on text via Instagram, I
Hmm.
was like, this is freaking genius. Like, I'm literally, because it's not just the fact she did it. It's like,
Hmm.
this is bold, because not all parents think like that or open to that. So I
Yeah.
was like, yo, this is like some Silicon Valley type situation. I might have to, steal this. And so I thought about it. I'll have a conversation with my wife about it and see
Yeah.
how we navigate it, because I think it could be a driving force. Although this year is just going to be so different for just my son. So we'll
Mm-hmm,
see. But I
mm-hmm,
appreciate that. And speaking of video games, man, it has been a pretty good. Well, beginning, I think it was middle of last year, beginning of this year,
mm-hmm,
a lot has been happening. You've been featured on some serious games like Fortnite.
mm-hmm.
I think Call of Duty, was it Call of
Call of
Duty?
Duty, Gears of War,
I
a
mean,
few
bro,
different Call
it's
of Duty.
getting, and I wonder how serious fans are as far as, because, so I'll give you my Fortnite story. I never wanted to play it. I saw kids were like addicted to this thing, bro.
Yeah.
And one day I downloaded it, son. Like, my son was like, "Oh, let's try it." And I downloaded it, trying to be a cool dad. Boop. And then I got a battle royale. Like, second time I played, I got a battle royale. My son had flipped. Oh my god! And then it became this obsession, son. Like, and
For
then I
you?
wondered, and I realized how serious kids are about playing freaking Fortnite. Like,
Yeah, yeah.
I know there's an art to it,
Mm-hmm.
but how was the process, man, of you landing that record on there? How crazy? Because it feels like I remember seeing it on Instagram and being like, "Yo, this is crazy." People like don't really understand how big Fortnite is and
Yeah.
continues to be this huge game that
Mm-hmm.
millions of dollars are pumped in every like kid. I mean, they be trying to get me every time I play. Like they got new skins. It's the stupidest thing ever. Something they get you
They
every. And my
get
son
you.
is, oh my god, I want that suit, and it's $5, son. And you're like, but how did it feel, man? Because I know it went over 1 million streams easy,
Yeah, yeah,
and
easy.
it's still
Mm-hmm.
going. How was
Mm-hmm.
that process for you, man? Because you've been doing music a long time, Rim of
Mm-hmm.
Soul, but this is like it felt like a whole nother, especially you being a solo artist the last couple of years,
Yep.
like a whole new validity. Like, okay, I've
Mm-hmm.
arrived. I've done something different myself. It
Mm-hmm.
wasn't with
Mm-hmm.
me or the squad of people. How did that
Yep.
experience happen for
Yeah, man, it was crazy. Like that was the second song on their platform. I had scored a song on there maybe 3 months before that for their World Cup series. The song was Get Up, and that went over well, you know. So then we did Ruckus, and they told us, yo, we're gonna feature this on the game, and this one's gonna be a little bit different. It's gonna be in the game, blah blah blah. I didn't know what that meant. I ain't never played the game. To this day, I haven't played the game.
you?
I
Okay,
know how to
okay.
play the game, but I've never played it because I'm scared I'm gonna get murked as soon as I drop in. I'm gonna get killed. But yeah, when it happened, it was mind blowing, man. Like Alex Medina posted at 6 a.m. that morning. I woke up to it on my phone, and it was like, "Yo, my boy, whatever." Just I just jumped into the game and I watched it. Like, yo, that's crazy. But I thought it was just his experience. Little did I know later on, my phone kept blink, 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 blink. It's like, what in the world? So yeah, I went viral for a little while, and then that was nuts. But I say all that to say, man, there was a lot of work, a lot of hard work before that happened. A lot of prayer and that kind of stuff, and God just opened up the door. He just allowed it to happen. Right place, right time, and now it's definitely a place where I find my most success with music, and I'm just very comfortable in that space. So it's been dope.
How do you not get caught up? Because I see this now in the music industry, and I was trying to avoid getting into this kind of stuff, but I think this is interesting because one, we're friends, and two, people that listen will either know who you are or want to
Mm-hmm.
hear some of this stuff, and we'll cut it here as soon as we're done with this question.
Mm-hmm.
How do you go from doing that and not getting caught up in the wave of now? Because this is what I see now.
Yeah.
Every artist is either doing a record to get on TikTok as a dance, like literally that's the lane, son. Everybody, like they
Uh-huh.
make a record
Mm-hmm.
and it's like, how can I get it on TikTok so it can be a dance and it can go viral? Like, I mean, am I crazy? But how do you not get caught up in that whirlwind of like, okay, I'm gonna create music because I just want to get it to go
Mm-hmm.
viral? Because it's hard. It's like when you eat chicken and then you get steak one day, son, and you're like, oh snap, I like steak every day. You feel me? Like, how do you not get caught up in that and make sure you're centered still on making purpose-driven music?
Yeah, man. The I guess the short answer is that I gotta stay true to what I'm doing, right? And the reason Ruckus got picked up is because of the message that it has hidden behind all that craziness and the sound. The message behind that song. The first song I ever got placed was "Money and Power" on the premiere of Ballers when it was on HBO, and that was my first excited. I ran out of my job like, yo, this is crazy. I found out, I'm getting paid off of this stuff. It wasn't like, play stuff. So when it happened, I got hit up by a lot of fans that most rappers don't have as fans, and that was industry professionals. And one thing led to another, and here I am, you know what I'm saying? And it's easy for me not to get caught up because I love the luxury of having the success of having a song have, I think Ruckus is now at like 12 million streams, but having a song be that kind of known and, having, different things that come with that, but still being able to live my life, go to the store, normal stuff like that. Cause, I have no desire to be famous in a sense. Like I just want to be successful at the things I'm doing, and I want my stuff to have purpose behind it. Because Money and Power, that whole song is about prayer. Ruckus is the whole song is about changing the way that we're thinking, not being conformed to this world. But the way that I say it, resonates with everyone. You know what I'm saying? So that's always been the specialty since Rhema Soul. We always had a way of communicating the attributes that Jesus thought was important without making people feel like they're not Christian enough to listen to the music. And yeah, that's just my lane. That's just how God has programmed me. I don't know how to do it any different than the way I'm doing it. I've just been blessed, working through what I've been doing. Just like you, man. You're so talented, man. And you can't stop doing this because this is natural.
It's hard, man. It is. It's extremely hard. Mm-hmm. And even if I'm doing tacos, like people have no clue that this is my passion. This is truly what I enjoy doing. I don't know how to do anything else. Like,
exactly. And it's the same
people are
thing.
excited about selling tacos, and I'm selling out and all this. I'm having great success, and I'm making more money I've ever made personally myself ever. Yeah. But very few people know that, like, truly this is the thing I was gifted with. And as hard as it is to run, I'm just waiting for the right opportunity. At the end of the day, like, everything has just changed. So why not continue to pursue something? And I do this. This podcast is extremely important to me because one is for my son, and two, if we can help a couple of dads, I'm happy. Like, I'm good. Yeah. So I don't need, God has already supplied. And I got other ideas with incorporating fathers in what I'm doing.
And I don't want to cut you off, Jay Blaze, but one thing that you're doing and one thing that we are doing as fathers is we are showing our children what it is like to shoot on all cylinders as far as purpose is concerned. So my daughter, son will never be able to say that their mom and dad didn't pursue and try to do everything that they could based on the giftings that God has given them, and they floated it and kept doing it no matter what. And they can, and your son will always be able to say that about you. So you set up an example for him to shoot for his dreams, no matter what they look like to other people, because the God-given dreams that we have, that you have, we're living it out. So the example is right there in front of them. You know what I'm saying? So it's dope, man.
That's I was good, having a
conversation with someone the other day. I was like, when you're doing everything, because I got a job, we own a business, I got this licensing thing with the music. When you're shooting from all cylinders, Amanda's managing, she's doing all this stuff. There's nothing like it, because you're busy as I don't know what, but you're living in purpose and purpose and purpose, and you're giving of yourself, and God is just replenishing you and just blessing what you're doing. So
thank you, man. I didn't even think about that. And sometimes I think as creatives, I'm sure you can account too, is that we may have a moment where we think we're not doing enough. Like, God, I mean, I could do more. I could do this, and I could, and yeah, it's a constant. It's a daily thing. Like, okay, God, I'll continue to do what you say do, and even if it looks like whatever it looks like, as long as I'm doing your will, then I'm good, and I'm learning. I'm serving my local church, and I'm being a husband and a father to my son. Like, those things are pivotal, and I've learned a lot. But hearing you say that is huge, man, and I truly appreciate it. I haven't thought about that this whole last 6 months. There's moments I'm like, I'll be honest with you, man. We're talking like, I've been like, man, it's good. Money's great, but it's not everything. It's not.
Yeah, absolutely not.
It's not. Like, it's not. And platform isn't everything. Like, being in Houston was great for 2 years. It was a great platform. I did a morning show on a top 10 market. Like, I learned a tremendous amount. But yeah, there's just some things I couldn't buy there. There's certain things I couldn't get that I get here in my city, in my home. Like, it's very different. So when I hear you talk about that, I'm like, well, I never thought about what I'm doing, because you're just doing. So you don't know what your kids are watching. So when I hear you say that, Yeah, it all comes for a full circle.
Because there are people that literally stop their passion.
Yeah, with all the
They're like,
information you
I'm
gave
so tired.
me, yeah, I feel like seriously that was the purpose of why I'm supposed to have this convo with you, to take that nugget and go home and be like, all right, cool. That's what I was supposed to be circulating around. Like all this other stuff is cool, but that makes me understand, continues to confirm.
Yeah.
Be like, all right, God, let me just continue to plow the ground and whatever happens, it happens. So listen, man, I want people to go check you out because I know it's late. I'm out of here too. I had to check out your music because me and your friends, and we could talk forever, but I want them to go check out your music. If not, I'm sure, can they still hear it on Fortnite, or is depending on the season? How does that work?
Yeah, I mean, it's still there. The
on
dance
Spotify
is still in the lobby, but it's on Spotify. You can just look me up, Konata Small, on all platforms, YouTube. I got a bunch of followers.
If you're listening, don't get caught up on just the Fortnite stuff. I'm talking about like there's some bangers away from all that. So go deep into the libraries, the portfolios.
Yes,
because you might find some heaters and you'll be like, oh snap, this might be my favorite new rapper. You feel me? Like, who are these other dudes?
And I think we have more things coming up. Fortnite wasn't the last thing, that was, I guess, big or whatever.
Candy bars. Tell me about candy bars.
Yeah, candy bars is dope. That came about as a result, residual effect of my YouTube blowing up. Okay. So, I was doing Freestyle Fridays, just writing these raps in a half an hour and then doing them on Fridays. But they were a drive home situation, but nobody's having a drive home situation because nobody's going to work. Everyone's working from home. So we tried to figure out what we could do. So we came up with this candy bars where basically I go live on Saturday at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard, and people join me. And then we write a song together in about an hour and 15 minutes. We choose the beat, we choose the producer, and we just go with it. And they choose the topic, and I'm literally writing whatever anyone's writing or telling me to write about. Yeah. And by the end of it, we have a song, and we put it out on Wednesday. I just put out the song yesterday. I got the win. And I already got hit up by a placement company. Hey, man, we want that for a commercial. So that's lovely. You know what I'm saying?
It all works full circle.
Man. Yeah, okay.
Definitely, man. Go check out Konata Small. Thank you so much. And I apologize. Some people be like, yo, y'all spoke about music. Yeah, bro. With your friends, calm down. But we got you some father stuff too, which I think is really important, and some things to really incorporate to your kids, especially if you're in that transition as a parent, to get them into doing chores. It's not, sometimes we got to put the chancleta down, and we have to speak to our children and slowly transition them into doing some of this work. Not that they're your slaves, but that they can help you out with the, function of the home, so they can run a lot smoother. All right.
And every once in a while, call them down for the remote. Yo, Zion, come in right next to you. Yo, pass me that remote.
Yeah.
That teaches them too.
Kamala, thank you so much, man. Tell your wife I say thank you. Lucy, your kids too, man. Thank you so much for being on the Daddy Dialogue podcast, my friend.
Thanks, brother. I love you, man. Thanks for having me once again.
Love you too, bro. Have a good one, man. Thank you. Buenas noches, amigo.
You too. Tell wifey I said, what's up?
I got you.